So Ross, what should we review this time? Gears 3 multiplayer?
No, I'm not really in the mood for that right now. Too lazy.
But dude, we gotta review something.
Well, what the hell? Dude, my lights just went out. I'll be right back.
Oh, fuck! What the hell was that?
It is I, the spirit of Halloween.
Who?
Review a horror game for Halloween, or else you shall both feel my wrath.
Alright then.
Yeah, Andrew, we're playing Left 4 Dead.
Man, Valve. You know, I swear they make games specifically for co-op players sometimes. With the exception of Half-Life, which I'm pretty sure still has multiplayer, every Valve game I've ever played has incorporated cooperative play in every one of their games that I've played.
Left 4 Dead is actually no exception and takes cooperative play to a whole new level. A 4-player co-op where, unlike games like Halo, the 3 extra characters were necessary to your own survival.
Valve knows how to entertain every one of their dedicated fans and newcomers of their games, leaving everyone who purchases their game satisfied no matter what. The only time Valve ever, quote-unquote, disappointed their consumers was with Left 4 Dead, but we'll talk about that later.
Being a zombie game, it had to live up to what people expect from their typical zombie games like Resident Evil, House of the Dead, Dead Rising, and even Call of Duty Zombies. Left 4 Dead had to somehow surpass people's expectations. So without further ado, this is our review of Left 4 Dead.
Released in 2008, Left 4 Dead is a first-person shooter and survival horror game running on the Source engine. Though originally released for the PC, it was later released for the Xbox about a week later, and then for Macintosh computers in 2010. The PS3 has still yet to receive a Left 4 Dead game, which for some reason makes me giggle a little bit.
The game is about 4 characters, the survivors, who must make their way to safety after an apocalyptic pandemic breaks out, leaving people as basically zombies. The only exception is these 4, who are apparently immune to the disease. Zoe, a college student, Bill, a Vietnam veteran, Lewis, an IT analyst, and Francis, a biker. Apparently the game takes place somewhere in Pennsylvania, but there's really no proof of that as far as we can see.
The characters are incredibly well written, and probably some of my favorite characters of all time. The sharp-tongued Bill always getting into arguments with the dim-witted Francis, Lewis trying to keep them all together, and Zoe building awkward sexual tension, I guess?
Well, of course, Andrew, that's why I play as her.
Now, gameplay-wise, the game is pretty solid. None of the characters have any special abilities or anything, as they're all typical people, with the exception of Bill, a Green Beret, but we can assume he's just old and being a badass will break his hip or something. It's just that, a character. Zombies, dubbed the Horde, come in crazy, unpredictable waves to try and take down the survivors. Each character has their own set of health, and depending on their level of health, the survivor can run at normal speed, slowly, or basically limping, adding a bit of odd realism to the game.
Taking away from Andrew's fantasy realism, the game has 2 ways to heal yourself. First aid kits and pain pills. If you had just gotten your insides ripped out by a special infected, which we'll get into later, just put a band-aid on it and you'll be as good as new. Pain pills also act as temporary health boosts, adding 50 health that slowly decreases as time passes.
Another oddity of Left 4 Dead is, whenever a zombie gets you down to 0 health, you're incapacitated. To save this survivor, you have to literally pick him up. I can understand that for Bill, poor guy probably broke a hip or 2, but come on, Francis can get up by himself.
This is also the same as when you fall off a building. You must be pulled up by another teammate. Andrew accidentally fell, and as I was going over to help him up, well, yeah.
There are 4 maps which, if you play in chronological order, have a defining story arc and plays out like an actual campaign. Along with the 4 maps, there was also a map released as DLC, which leads to the game to Left 4 Dead 2.
The cool thing about the campaign is the fact that it pays homage to old grindhouse films from the 60s and 70s with cheesy posters and cheesy taglines such as "Their flight has been delayed. Permanently."
The game plays out like an arcade game in a way. The campaign has a very standard plot for every map, which focuses on the survivor escaping that area. Yes, it can get repetitive and redundant after a while, but it's all in good fun, which is what counts.
Aside from the maps and the survivors, there's our main focus of the game, the infected. The common infected are scattered around the map and make up 80% of zombie encounters. At times they come as a horde when brought out by car alarms and different mechanical objects that require you to progress through the level.
The game isn't just about regular zombies, of course. Some of the infected have actually mutated, as pointed out by Bill in the opening.
They're changing.
God damn it, Bill! Oh, it stinks!
These mutated are known as special infected. Boomers vomit on you to attract the horde, smokers grab you with their tongues, I'm guessing. Hunters pounce on you and rip you to shreds, and of course there are the witches and the tanks.
Witches are rare infected, but when you see them, you have to be careful. If you get too close or shine your flashlight at them, they will be alerted to your presence and rip you to shreds. Unless you're smart like me.
How do I look?
You'll be fine, girl.
Nah, man, this is how you take care of a witch.
Oh yeah? Let's see you do that to a tank.
Oh god, jeez, what the fuck, Ross? Ross, help, Ross.
Tanks are the strongest of the special infected, and thankfully, the rarest. They're monsters to try to take down, but luckily, a well-timed Molotov can cut their health like butter. Also, it's advised not to fight these guys alone, as it can take out a survivor easily.
Another handy thing is that when one of your friends dies, like say our friend Lewis over there, you can easily save them by opening a closet door. Yeah, we're not gonna make any coming out of the closet jokes, we're not that bad.
However, despite our love for Left 4 Dead, we do have a few complaints about it. The levels are very monotonous and incredibly linear. If you've done a map once, you've done it 1,000 times. I could probably do No Mercy with my eyes closed at this point.
There are also not a lot of guns to choose from. You have the standard pistols, SMG, assault rifles, pump-action shotguns, and auto shotguns, and that's about it. I mean, there's a sniper, but let's face it, in a game where you have to keep moving against 100 zombies, a sniper won't do you much good.
Now, something I want to talk about is the game's AI director. The AI director is basically a holy being that can either make the game a walk in the park, or it could be shitting on your life, depending on its mood. And my god, it must always be in a bad mood.
The AI director controls everything in the game, how often the horde attacks you, when and where special infected spawn, and even the weather conditions. Though the AI was later improved for Left 4 Dead 2, I have to admit it was pretty solid in this game as well. Except when Lewis got trapped in the hospital, unreachable by the rest of us. Even Bill was like, screw this, I'm out. But let's face it, that was just hysterical.
The graphics in the game aren't amazing per se, but they're not bad either. However, I would have loved for the entire game to look like the intro cutscene, as it is still one of mine and Andrew's favorites.
Another game mode other than campaign is the survival mode. This is pretty simple, as all you have to do is survive for as long as you can. Simple, but it can be fun to try and beat your old record from time to time.
Now for the worst part about Left 4 Dead. The community. Honestly, I can't stand most of the people that play Left 4 Dead. They're either too annoying or they're unappreciative about the great game they have in front of them. Don't understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the fucking stupid, pointless as shit Left 4 Dead 2 boycott. But with that being said, that somehow leads us into the versus mode.
Let me handle this. When I joined a versus game, I was almost immediately kicked out. Like, seriously? Okay, I made a simple mistake, but the game is supposed to be fun, and the game only just started. I died once as an infected, so I would immediately spawn again. There was no reason to kick me out. I may sound like I'm whining right now, but honestly, that's just not cool.
Well, no offense, but you're not really the greatest either. Remember when you fell out the window thinking you'd be safe?
Dude, you followed me out the window.
So, we'd never survive a zombie apocalypse by ourselves anyways.
Not in a million years, my friend.
Well, luckily, despite all its faults, Left 4 Dead is a great game with some great replay value. So long as you don't play the entire game at once and have short breaks in between each run-through, the game is a lot of fun. Though not perfect, it's definitely worth giving a try if you haven't already. Maybe you guys are more fit for the zombie apocalypse.
And that's our review of Left 4 Dead.
That was a terrible review.
Oh, come on, I thought it was great.
Face lateral wrath. Prepare your readiness.
Oh god, jeez, what the fuck, Ross? Ross, help, Ross, shit, Ross, Ross, shit, Ross, fuck, tanked, Ross, shit, fuck, Ross, there's a tank, hello, fuck, shit, Ross, tank, are you fucking kidding me, Ross, get your fucking ass over here,